So, so what brought me here is that like after reading this, like you do see like anti-sentiment between Christians and Muslims, both clashing at each other. And I'm thinking to myself, like, why? How does that occur when they both have the same, when they both follow the same belief, well, the same God?
Yeah, absolutely. So you have to understand, there's different types of Christians, right?
Right.
And there's different forms of Christianity, right?
Yeah.
And the Quran also speaks about the closest allies to the Muslims are the Christians, right? But obviously, there are certain Christians that are actually extremely hateful towards the Muslims as well.
Oh yeah, I believe that strongly.
Yes.
Yeah, because like there's honestly no need, like both Islam and Christianity follow the same Abrahamic, the Creator. So what's the need for that? Especially Christians against Jews, Jews against Muslims, and then vice versa.
Well, I understand the resentment towards Jews, because obviously the Jews, they killed prophets. They also, killed Jesus as well. So, so I understand, like, obviously, if there's tension between that, but it is interesting, because I think a lot of Christians, they don't realize that we are actually allies. We're not enemies.
Exactly. That's how.
But I believe it's actually through a lack of knowledge that happens. They're unaware.
I want the world to see. Like I want. That's exactly what I want the world to see: Christians, Jews, and Muslims as allies, since they both follow the same Abrahamic, beliefs. Yeah.
But you are aware that the Jews, they believe they're the supreme beings, right? They believe that they're better than other people. Like, they believe they're the chosen people of God, and all of us are not the chosen people. So they believe that they're the only ones going to heaven. You didn't know that?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, absolutely. You haven't studied then. You don't know what they believe. It's clear that you don't know what they believe.
So Jews believe, that they're superior among others?
Among others, 100%. That's why you cannot convert into Judaism.
Isn't that basically every other religion?
No, so Islam, right, we believe that we're all the children of Adam, right?
Right.
The Jews, they believe they're the children of Abraham, right? And you cannot become a Jew. Your mother has to be a Jew, right? In order for you have to be born into it.
So you can't be Jew by choice?
No.
Wow.
It's by race. It's a race. It's not a religion. But the thing is, most people, they have no idea what the Jews believe. You understand?
Right.
Like Christian, obviously you can convert into Christianity, you can convert into Islam, right?
Because when you take back into past history, you do see thousands of people slaughtered in the name of Jesus or in the name of Allah. Like, I don't think there is any religion of peace if there's been constant wars between over like who favors which god or another.
Yeah, but even the Christians that did kill in the name of Jesus, that wasn't according to the Bible, right? And and the stuff that happens, the propaganda that's pushed against the Muslims, that's not according to the Quran either. Clearly states, right, that if you kill one person, it's as if you kill all of humanity.
I admit that even other Christians can fall into radicalism, especially Protestants going against Catholics and vice versa. And it's been something that's been going on like for ages, especially the whole tension and the war between Christians versus Muslims. I just think it's like flat out ridiculous, because why fight for the same God that you both believe in?
Yeah, I mean, we do believe in the same God, but like what we disagree with is the Christians who believe Jesus is God. For us, that's blasphemy.
Yeah, I don't believe Jesus is God. I do believe Jesus is Son of God.
Okay. So you see, these are the Christians we actually get along with.
Yeah.
The Christians that believe the Father is the one true God.
Yes.
You see, but then obviously there's Christians who believe Jesus is God. Those are the people who have very high tensions with the Muslims.
Yeah, those people, they're misguided.
Yes, 100%. I'm glad at least you could recognize that. I'm very happy that you could recognize that, because obviously we know God is not born, right? We know God doesn't sleep. We know God doesn't eat. We know God doesn't do these things, right?
Of course.
So obviously, and Jesus did all those things, right? Obviously, and according to the Bible, Jesus died as well. Obviously, we know God can't die, right?
Right.
Yeah, or else he wouldn't be God.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, because he's the ever-living, the all-sustaining. Do you know what Muslims believe about God, or have you ever read the Quran by any chance?
I've never read the Quran, but I hate to admit this, but like years before, I used to be very anti-Semitic, anti,
Muslim. I was like that. I was about that. I was like that 10 years ago too.
I was like that, especially during the Trump era, because I've been looking at lots of right-wing news sources about, Muslims being the religion of peace, but then you see, those execution videos, you see what they do to, Christians, Jews, Hindus, and you know what, we're not looking at it now, Christians are no different than those radical extremists.
Well, to be honest, a lot of those radical extremists, to be honest, I have my own ideas about this, but I believe these are not even Muslims whatsoever. They're trying to propagate a false idea regarding Islam. And they're coming in the cloak of Islam. Because if you see, all of them are covered up, right? And if you see, there's so many times where people have got caught misrepresenting things and actually pushing that agenda against Islam. And you have to understand, why is there so much hate against the Muslims and against Islam? Because Islam is the only pure monotheistic religion in the world, meaning the only religion that worships God and God alone without any partners, right? And you have to understand, right, that, and another certain things about Islam, like obviously we don't drink alcohol.
Oh, of course.
And who propagates the most hate towards the Muslims? The alcohol industry. We don't gamble.
Right.
And who's supporting the Islamophobia? The gambling industry, right? Well, the Muslim women, they're very modest.
Yeah.
They're very modest, right? So the fashion industry goes against the Muslims too, because they want women to be naked. They don't want women to be modest, right? Also, the banking industry, the Quran clearly states that we're not allowed to consume interest, right? And obviously the banking industry is not okay with that whatsoever.
Right.
You know what I mean? So these are all agendas being pushed against the truth. And another thing is, Islam is, like whoever, like for instance, obviously you're aware many Christians accept Islam. Almost every day Christians are converting to Islam. I don't know if you're aware of that.
Islam?
Yeah.
Wow.
Many Christians come to Islam every single day, because a lot of Christians have this idea that, if you come to
the opposite.
No, you will hardly ever see a Muslim come to Christianity. You will hardly ever. That's actually a very rare thing to happen, a Muslim to go into Christianity. But many Christians come to Islam all the time, because a lot of Christians have this idea that if you come to Islam, that you lose Jesus. But the reality is, you don't lose Jesus at all, because we also believe in Jesus. We believe that Jesus is the Messiah, right? The Son of Mary, right? And we also believe he's coming on the second coming as well. So, there's just a lot of misunderstandings. That's pretty much what it is.
Oh yeah, big time.
Yeah. I would love to offer you a free Quran if that's okay with you.
I'm good.
Okay, no problem. At least you could have at least an idea what the Muslims believe, because it talks a lot about Jesus in the Quran. It talks a lot about Moses as well. So it's definitely a very interesting read, And also it's a divine book as well. But it's completely up to you, my dear brother. Yeah.
I'm good.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Sounds good, man. It was nice talking to you, brother.
All right, nice.
Take care, man.
تكاد تميز من الغيظ كلما ألقي فيها فوج سألهم خزنتها ألم يأتكم نذير قالوا بلى قد جاءنا نذير فكذبنا وقلنا ما نزل الله من شيء إن أنتم إلا في ضلال كبير وقالوا لو كنا نسمع أو نعقل ما كنا في أصحاب السعير فاعترفوا بذنبهم فسحقا لأصحاب السعير